Hello everyone and welcome back for some more Drag Race gossip, secrets, drama and information. So a while back I created a video where I explained some of the references and characters on the UK version of Snatch Game, and a lot of people in the comments said they found this really helpful, so I thought I would do the same thing, but this time I will be focusing on characters from UK versus the world. Please note that there is a spoiler alert for this video as we will be discussing Snatch Game. Please make sure you hit subscribe and ring the bell to be notified for my future videos. Baga Chipz as Kathy Bates. So Baga Chipz portrayed Kathy Bates, but was actually Kathy Bates in character from the film Misery. Kathy Bates, for anyone who doesn't know, is an American award-winning actress who you may know from movies such as The Titanic and, of course, Misery. So Misery is a movie that came out in 1990, and it's actually based on a 1987 novel of the same name by Stephen King. The movie is a psychological thriller, and it's about an author called Paul. And in the movie, Paul gets into a car accident and is knocked unconscious. And then when he wakes up, he realizes he's being taken care of by a woman called Annie, who's played by Kathy Bates. But you quickly realize that Annie is actually a sort of obsessed fan who is kind of what you'd call crazy or kind of has mental health issues, and she effectively holds Paul hostage and makes him rewrite his books because Annie doesn't really like them.
She won an Oscar for her role in Misery. Welcome, Kathy Bates.
I'm your #1 fan.
I'm your #1 fan.
And Baga's portrayal was very accurate, and she looked really similar to Kathy Bates in terms of the outfit, the hair and everything, and she also just got the attitude really, really right. And a lot of the jokes that Baga was making are direct references from the film. And for example, Baga kept referring to RuPaul as Paul because that's the name of the character in the movie.
Really? Well, I want to know this. Who's your favorite author?
You, Paul. Sit on my face.
On page 300 now, Paul. And it's better than perfect. It's divine.
Oh, I love you so.
I love you, Paul.
And one of the reasons why Baga's portrayal was so funny was not only did she do the references really well, but she also managed to sort of twist them slightly so you could still identify them as being from the film, but she would refer it to sort of Drag Race and make it more relevant to Ru or Michelle or whatever, but it still was referencing the film.
I'm halfway through, Guru. Please tell me more, please. Oh my God. Does Michelle get rid of her crabs? Does Cheryl Hole win a badge?
Oh, Paul. When Ian realized that the reason they'd buried Misery alive was because the bee sting had put her in that temporary coma, will she be her old self now that Ian has dug her out, or will she have amnesia?
Have to wait.
Will she still love him with that special, perfect love?
You'll have to wait.
Oh, how you tease me so. Oh!
Misery's alive! Misery's alive!
And another example of Baga showing off her improv skills was she was able to bring in the reference not only to the film Misery, but also Katie Price, who was sort of the team captain for that week. Katie Price, by the way, who I talked about in my previous video because Bimini Bombulash played her in the season 2 UK Snatch Game, and Baga was able to sort of make a joke and include Katie Price in the joke, but still keep it a reference from Misery.
We're going to start with Kathy Bates. Kathy Bates.
This ain't Katie Price. Have you all got amnesia?
This isn't what happened last week. Have you all got amnesia?
The gentleman's wearing a cock-a-doodle bra.
He didn't get out of the cock-a-doodle car!
And I assume RuPaul must be a really big fan of this film because he clearly knew all of these references and found them all really funny.
Hey, Paul, catch this.
Catch this.
I thought you were good, Paul.
Oh.
I thought you were a good man, but you're just another lying, dirty birdie.
You dirty bird. I thought you were good, Paul, but you're not good. You're just another lying old dirty birdie.
Pray to the Lord. The fornication, you don't need it, Paul. You don't need the fornication.
The swearing, Paul. It has no nobility.
I don't go to the bank and say, hey, Mr. Bollinger, sign me a big bastard of a check.
In the bank, do I tell Mrs. Bollinger, oh, here's one big bastard of a check. Give me some of your Christing money.
You're gonna have to rewrite it. You can keep the part of naming the gravedigger after Lady Bunny, but that's it.
I'm sorry, Paul. This is all wrong. It's not worthy of you. Throw it all out, except for that part of naming the gravedigger after me. You can leave that in.
And one of the clear benefits of choosing someone who is famous for a character is that you can just throw in lots of the lines from the movie or whatever you're referencing, because they'll always be funny and you can always find an opportunity to use them.
I know that, Mr. Man.
I know that, Mr. Man.
She reminds me of my favorite beast, Misery Chastain.
Oh, say hello to my favorite beast in the whole world, my sow, Misery.
Blue Hydrangea as Mike Myers. So Blue Hydrangea was portraying Mike Myers, and similar to Baga as Kathy Bates, Blue was playing Mike Myers in character as Austin Powers from the Austin Powers movies.
Up next, we have an international man of mystery. Mike Myers is here. Hi, Mike.
Hey, RuPaul, you look shagadelic, baby. Yeah, crikey.
Very shagadelic. Very shagadelic.
Mike Myers is a Canadian actor who is best known for the Austin Powers movies, as well as being the voice of Shrek in the Shrek movies. Austin Powers is a series of 3 comedy films that came out between 1997 and 2002, and they are about the character of Austin Powers, who is a spy who women find irresistible, and he always wants to sleep with lots of women. The films are a sort of comedy spoof of the kind of James Bond movies or other spy movies, and they play on a lot of British stereotypes.
Yeah, how's your mojo today?
My mojo's fabulous, baby.
Crikey! I've lost my mojo!
And Blue did a really good job of impersonating Mike Myers as Austin Powers, and a little bit like Baga Chipz did, Blue was able to use a lot of the references from the Austin Powers movies, so that gave Blue lots of material to work with.
Do I make you horny, baby? Do I make you randy?
Do I make you horny? Randy? Do I make you horny, baby? Yeah, do I?
Then why would you ask a stupid question like that, baby? I want to shag all day. Let's just go at the back and have a shag right now.
Okay, listen, why don't we go in the back and shag?
And Blue's performance was made even better because she actually switched characters partway through the Snatch Game and changed to be Dr. Evil, who is another character from the Austin Powers movies and is also played by Mike Myers.
Mike Myers, what happened?
Austin Powers is currently in a hostage situation that is very easily escapable.
Oh, hell, let's just do what we always do. Hijack some nuclear weapons and hold the world hostage. Yeah?
And I think Blue did a really good job with both characters in terms of the outfit, the makeup, the hair, and also being able to switch so quickly between the 2 characters. And I think Blue also did a really good job of actually doing the voice and the mannerisms of the characters, and also, you know, did so many of the references and made them relevant to the question that she was asked.
How much money does it need to be freed?
$1 billion, $1 million.
$100 billion.
Another thing I think Blue did really well was being able to copy Dr. Evil's way of speaking and pronouncing words. And I think a lot of the references, unless you know the movies really well, might have been lost a little bit on some of the audience. And so when you see the clips side by side, maybe you can understand them a bit more.
All right, Mike Myers, what say you?
Well, actually, Rue, I have Graham Norton held hostage in my Amsterdam lair.
Welcome to my underground lair.
Above a lake of boiling hot schmegma.
With liquid hot magma.
I'm not asking for much. Throw me a frickin' bone here.
Throw me a frickin' bone here.
Mo Hart as Billy Porter. Billy Porter is an American actor, singer, and author who is perhaps best known for his roles in multiple Broadway musicals such as Kinky Boots, as well as being on the TV show Pose.
Coming up next, the Tony and Emmy award-winning superstar Billy Porter is here.
Pose, darling, pose, darling, pose, darling.
Miss Thing with the reveal? Oh, they're giving us story. They're giving us narrative. The divas are serving us Buckingham Palace high tea while the rest of you don't know nothing but lifted from the diner.
And I think that Mo had a slightly harder task because she was impersonating a real person rather than someone in character, like, for example, Blue and Baga both did people in character. And I think Mo did a really good job, given that this wasn't actually originally her Snatch Game character of choice, and RuPaul suggested that she do Billy Porter because I think Mo and Billy Porter just happen to be quite similar naturally.
Rather than working with someone who's already in your waters, you know, you could do Billy Porter really well.
But I think Mo did a really good job and she hit all of the references she needed to. And to be honest, Billy Porter doesn't have necessarily specific one-liners and catchphrases, which you'll see when you see the backwards and forwards between the clips.
How are you, Ray?
I'm doing great. Now, you play games?
You know, generally I host the game. I would be in your spot. So if you can move over, I would like to host.
I didn't have a pool when I shot that. I do have a pool now, and
See?
and somebody else claims it.
Oh, come on, that's what I'm talking about. That's it, that's what I'm
I
talking
don't clean the pool, kids. I don't clean the pool.
And I think that Mo absolutely nailed Billy's voice and mannerisms, and also the kind of diva attitude that Billy has, and also his slightly extravagant sense of fashion sense, and also just his way of speaking and his way of acting. He's very sort of grand in the way that he speaks, and also a little bit kind of sassy.
Billy Porter, we're looking for something that is quintessentially British.
Besides the man that I had in my room last night. I said bad teeth.
And I said, why am I not playing all of them? 13. He's like, well, you're playing Fagin. I said, who's Fagin?
And some of the references that Mo did were definitely based on Billy's character from the TV show Pose, and I think Mo did a really good job of being able to make that funny and relevant to the question.
Just after eating a grande burrito. Hey, behave. That is what category? Boom.
The category is Bring It Like Royalty.
Billy, what do you say?
The last time we did a family vacation,
Yes.
I brought back chlamydia.
Oh.
But I also brought back some salted cheese.
Okay, some salt cheese.
Has little crystals on it.
To applause. Ooh. It was like, that's when I learned the meaning of a star entrance. Ain't no going back from there.
So there you go. There was a quick explanation of some of the characters from the Snatch Game on UK versus the World. Did you find this useful? Let me know in the comments. And if there are any other Snatch Game characters that you'd like me to do this for, please let me know in the comments as well.